pretty common these days to be a fan of Star Wars. I'm no exception to that fact, and while many would fantasize about being a noble Jedi Knight or a powerful Sith Lord, I was entranced by the mere idea of the scale of battles in space. Star Wars Battlefront grants me a glimpse into that dream. Now the third game in its series, Electronic Arts and DICE takes us for a spin on the game. This is Lentropy and we are reviewing Star Wars Battlefront on the PlayStation 4. The graphics for the game is pretty impressive. The creators wanted to make it as close as possible to the movies and without a shadow of a doubt succeeded. The treatment of the lighting and rendering really does make you feel like you're actually there in the movie, fighting for the Empire or the Rebel faction. A big plus is how smoothly it runs on the PS4. It's also pretty impressive how the sound is very much what you'd expect to hear from the movie. It really helps you get into the immersion of the battle. I can literally hear the pew pew 1,000 times in game and not get tired of it. The sound also gives you a general idea of what's around you, like if an AT-ST is firing its lasers far away, or a bomb just landed right next to you. Their work to make the game look and feel as close as possible to the movie certainly deserves much praise, and with that out of the way, let's move on to the meat of the game, its mechanics. The game itself plays pretty straightforwardly. The controls don't feel awkward, and I'm surprised to say this, but it does feel pretty natural to be playing on a PS4 controller, despite it being an FPS game. Though it might be different for other people since I've played more than half of my games recently on console. While most other shooters would have you think about your ammo count, pretty much all of your weapons in this game run on a heatsink or a cooldown. Just wait for your weapon to cool down before shooting more. I generally like this since instead of counting shots, I just have to concentrate on the action. Another big plus is how you can handle vehicles and movie characters in the game. So far, I've handled AT-ATs, X-Wings, AT-STs, and TIE Fighters. Of all the heroes, I personally prefer Boba Fett because of his awesome jetpack. Having these featured in-game adds up to the skill and strategy of the battle that takes place. The degree of how far you can take your strategy, however, is very limited. The reason being there's no real way to coordinate with your allies. It's possible that they're doing this to make the matchmaking very easy and fast for online play and to prevent toxicity between players, since that's the bulk of what happens on online chat or communication. The only real direction you get is the game making voiceovers of what's supposed to be your superior officers, but there's really no way to easily coordinate with your team. This is a huge issue considering your teammates are most likely random people that are connecting to the same server. There doesn't seem to be a lot to learn about the game either since the game doesn't really teach you much aside from basic controls. You don't even have a map you can study your terrain on. I think there's only 4 maps in all. While you have a radar, it's nearly useless as the detection range is pretty vague. It doesn't detail anything about your surroundings, so you could still get lost despite having it. One big issue I found in the mechanics is how many options for your weapons and loadout is locked by level or rank in Star Wars Battlefront. Understandably, it's also a way to pace the player through the game, but at the same time it feels like unnecessary grinding since I also have to buy them with in-game currency when I get them unlocked. Leveling isn't that fast either, so you basically have to go through the rite of getting your ass kicked many times over because everybody has better gear than you do. The fact that you level based on how well you perform through kill count and objectives doesn't really help. Honestly, a lot of the game makes the entire thing feel like a Battlefield reskin but with less or oversimplified features. You really want to do more but you can't because the tech you want to try out is locked, so your best chances to perform well lies in ducking behind cover and sniping from a distance. With that, suddenly the action is seriously slow. It would have been nice to have some sort of scenario or set of scenarios that would tie things together, so you can really feel the scale of an intergalactic war. Since there's none of that, everything is just pocket-sized combat games that have nothing to do with each other. Focusing on what the game actually features, I'd have to say that it does a good job of getting online play working on the PlayStation 4. Matches are found quickly, I'm talking like 20 seconds or less average here. Lag is very rare as well, and the game runs stably unless something wrong happens with the internet connection. Considering that I'm running on a modest subscription here in the Philippines, for an online game to run perfectly well is saying a lot. The featured game modes also scale from small to large, featuring a minimum of 6 to a maximum of 40 players. Some involve only infantry, some with heroes, while the larger ones will pretty much feature everything. The thing is, none of the game modes feel that unique or interesting. If I were to praise any of these, it'd have to be Walker Assault, because that's kind of where everything feels like it comes together. It's probably where you'll experience the game to its fullest scale. For more content, you can avail of the Season Pass. I'll get to that with maybe another video or article, but let's wrap up what we have so far first. The game is actually pretty easy to pick up, so basically anyone can play it even if you have zilch experience on FPS games. While the game plays most impressively online, the lack of features to actually play properly with other people and a campaign to make a great single player experience is devoid from this game. The game modes don't really feel like anything that new either. There's a good game in there somewhere. I played it and leveled up to rank 30. I actually like what I was getting for the most part, but not for $60. Not when I'm learning that I have to pay another $50 just to experience more content in this game sometime later. After considering the game's production, mechanics, writing, features, and overall experience, Star Wars Battlefront for the PlayStation 4 scores an average 2.5 out of 5. Like its prequel movies, unfortunately, a big letdown. Thank you for watching the review. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. We would also very much like to know what you think, so please share your thoughts on the comments below. If you'd like to see more, our last review was Metal Gear Solid 5. Do check it out in the description. Thank you for watching. This is again Lentropy with Ray Maru Files. See you next time.